a couple of soldiers suddenly burst in, trying to block the grenade they threw. Steve nearly went over the edge. Luckily he grabbed a cable at the last second. Meanwhile Tony was moving too slow inside the engine, and the blades were already pressing into his back. He eventually managed to get out, but the suit was pretty beat up by then. Seeing Cap still hanging on for dear life, Tony charged in and took out the last soldier. Around the same time, Banner had gotten spooked and was starting to lose control. He transformed into Hulk right in front of everyone. Black Widow saw what was happening and took off running. Even though the layout in there was complicated, those steel panels might as well have been tissue paper to Hulk. With Black Widow cornered and out of options, Thor showed up just in time. Even with his godlike physique, he couldn't get an inch on Hulk and got launched across the room. Lucky for him, he still had Mjolnir in his corner. One swing brought things back to even, but that completely set Hulk off. He tried to catch Mjolnir, thinking he could stop it, but it didn't budge one bit. Hulk gave it another shot. He crushed the steel floor under his feet, but the hammer still didn't move. Thor seized the moment and got him in a lock. But while the two of them were going at it, a helicopter had already drawn a bead on Hulk and opened fire with armor-piercing rounds. Even though the pilot had left a safe margin, he completely underestimated how angry Hulk was. Hulk leaped straight up and landed on top of the aircraft, then punched through the engine bay with one hit. That fighter jet was just a toy to him. The pilot tried to bail, but it was way too late. Then came one massive explosion, and Hulk went down into the ocean with the wreckage. Thor was about to go confront Loki, but the ship had been rocking so hard, the cell had already popped open on its own. Loki used an illusion to fool Thor, then casually dropped him out of the ship. The violent shaking from the freefall had Thor completely unable to get his footing, but right before he hit the ground, he and the cage reached a balanced position, and he kicked off with everything he had. The cage was destroyed, but Thor made it out alive. Agent Coulson wasn't so lucky though. He had Loki dead in his sights with a super weapon, but he didn't fire fast enough and ended up getting blindsided by Loki. Then just as Loki was about to walk away, Coulson told him he'd already lost, and pulled the trigger, blasting Loki clean out of the helicarrier. Even though Black Widow managed to snap Hawkeye out of it, Coulson's death hit the whole team hard. Even Cap, who could never see eye to eye with Tony, started looking inward. And just when they were finally opening up to each other, Tony suddenly had a realization. If Loki needed to power up the Tesseract, he'd need an enormous amount of energy, and the only place that could possibly handle that was Stark Tower, which had just finished its upgrade. So the team geared up and moved out immediately. Sure enough, the moment Tony arrived, he found Eric already operating the machine. Tony tried to force his way in and destroy the Tesseract, but it backfired and sent him flying instead. He had no choice but to land on the work platform, and told Jarvis to strip off every piece of his armor.